Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you, Michael. Goodness, I was scribbling notes from all of you, Nadine and Vincent and everything. I love how we went from the very tactical to the really big picture. Thank you, Michael. And maybe I'll take it I'll riff off of you, Michael. We're going through a disillusion moment, a falling apart, an ending, and a grieving, and a celebration. Um, it is my work of many, many years. It's always felt like the clarity of everything, Michael, you just said. A lot of us found coherence, purpose, significance, and sources of meaning in this work. And I just want to pause and point out that how fortunate are we that we've experienced that? That's really rare, actually. Most folks will never have the privilege of having touched each of those things you just talked about, Michael. And I think what makes our field, why we cling to this work is because that feeling is intoxicating. It is an incredible, a deeply aligned and grounded and totally like self potential exploding field that we've been in. We've been able to touch the sky and the divine, and we've also been able to shift mountains and pull community together and find ourselves, in many cases, that language for who we are, and find our people and find other people that we can now rejoice in as their allies. So just the whole, it's really profound, and it's a very unusual experience to be devoted to this work, as many of us have been. And it shaped us and changed us, and it changed things in us that equip us for what's next in a very unique way. So we can regret, we can be angry, we can be frustrated, we can feel betrayed, we can fight, we can mourn, but we can also think about, what did this build in me that I did not have, that I now have? I have at my disposal. You talk about a portfolio. I'm feeling like this is a toolkit extraordinaire. We have been in empathy. We've built empathy. We have created safety, psychological safety. We have built bridges. We have articulated the value of humans in 20 different ways and struggled to do that and stayed committed to doing it. We have made sense of a nonsensical, I think, cruel system. We have found sense in it. We have found community in it, in spite of it. We've built our own meaning. So I just want us to think about that. To me, is a profound set of tools that I have now. And we may not know, where am I supposed to apply those now? Because the levers that we've held on to seem to be no longer there. And they're too hot to touch anyway. So we can't grab onto them anymore. And it's very disorienting when you have been training for something and the systems that you relied on to use aren't at your disposal anymore. And I think that might be the only answer we have at the moment, too. So what I want to encourage, I'm saying to myself as much as I'm saying to everybody, the grace for yourself right now, to say, if you're getting a lot of rejections, if you're not getting any word back, if you're trying and it's not working in the ways that it has for most of your professional life, which is what this whole kind of environment feels like. There is beauty in the pause right now. And we are in a whirling dervish of a world. And maybe this all sort of stopped in its way for a reason, for us to reassess, for us to re-equip ourselves, for us to reimagine what tools we use, the value that we have, the significance that we want. We know what it feels like, and we've tasted it. And I think that's a very important thing in our arsenal to remember. And we have captured hearts and humanity. And we have been the culture carriers. We have carried the hearts of organizations and of people in really tough environments. So that is going to become, especially with the coming of AI and other synthetic beings and intelligences, this will be something that can't be taken away from us and that will actually increase in value. So use this time. I would encourage, what I am doing is not spending my precious energy being angry, regretful, questioning, battling out, protecting, trying to resuscitate, trying to save the patient, like with the paddles. I'm not doing that because this time is extremely important. How you spend this time, deepening into your wisdom, what you truly know from all the experiences that you have, um, and being open to all the possibilities of how you can be of service, the ways that you haven't even thought about. And touching on the portfolio career, I personally have loved that. I think someone early on said, maybe it was Nadine, and maybe Vincent too, asking others, how do you see me? What have I not yet done in this world and in this lifetime that I must do? What have I not yet done? And we put it off. We put it off. We had careers, we had the job, we had the titles, we had this autopilot, is alluring. But I think sometimes creativity and commitment to the self stops in autopilot. And that searching and that continual evolution can stop or slow down in autopilot. That's what I'm saying about this moment is if it's a pause, maybe we needed to be stopped in our tracks to quiet and to listen and to tune back in a different way to the frequencies of this moment, because this moment needs us to show up differently. And when the pendulum swings back, which I've been talking about a lot, and it will we be ready in a different way? So that's what I mean about this precious time. Every moment and every day is precious right now, as frustrating as they might feel. The more we cling to the old and what we knew and what we understood how it worked, I can promise you that things are not going to work that way anymore. So I think coming out of this, it's going to be a different landscape. And yet we are some of the most resilient, hopeful, and hope-inducing people on the planet, those of us who do this work. We have a special gift, special gift for this. So we may be paused, but let's be present to it. And let's be incredibly open and curious and listening really hard and open to all the different possibilities of how we can serve and plugging in creatively without knowing the answer, without knowing where it's going to lead. Join everything you can, study everything you can, notice what you're called to, get yourself into communities that feel that they are on the same wavelength as you. And really incubate, allow something to be incubated. But know that grief and endings also need to be acknowledged at this moment. And actually, the room needs to be made for the creativity and the new to emerge. So remember what you spend your time obsessing about, feeling emotional about, all those things. There's a time for it, but then there has to be space made for the emergence. And I'll just pause there, Karen. That was just such a one. I mean, I felt like you all warmed my engine up and I had to get that stuff out. Thank you.